Watch this for absurd AI. This guy gets kicked by the El Gigante and somehow survives, and he has no arm. And then for some reason, when I shoot him with the sniper rifle while he's sprinting, he doesn't flinch, even though enemies are supposed to flinch while they're sprinting towards you. And he just gets a punch-out. That's one of the stupidest moments I have ever seen in Resident Evil 4 Remilk, by far. Look at this stupidity. What is wrong with the developers? So whenever this guy is in the middle of running away, after he does his little summoning move, he's resistant to all stuns. You can't stun him until he goes back into a summoning move. Are you... Why are these developers so dumb? Yeah, look at that! Look at that! Yeah, look at that! Look at that! He's resistant to all stuns when he's in the middle of running between summoning points. So because I interrupted him while he was summoning and I used my knife against him, it has disabled all stuns until he gets to the next summoning point. Why are these developers so retarded? How do you let that slip by? Everyone's giving this stupid pre-alpha 10s out of 10s and 11 out of 10s. And this is somehow acceptable? Are you stupid? How many knife executions does this guy take? You have to let him get to his summoning point so that you can actually stun him. Because anytime you get in his way, he's always gonna run away. That's so stupid. They're really taking the piss now, aren't they? They're really trying to make a fool of themselves. If they're going to be treating this as supposed to challenge with AI designs that would only be possible in a game, a pre-alpha. What is this? How is this possible? How do you let this programming error slip? Is this really intentional? Are you serious? 3 knife executions and he's still alive? Why won't he die? Finally! What is this? 3 knife executions! When in Resident Evil 4 Remilk on professional difficulty has any enemy taken 2 or 3 knife executions? Aside from the mutated Cornelius with 3 knife executions! 3! And they've been alive? I've never seen this before! What the hell is wrong with the developers? Why have they bloated the enemy HP to an absurd degree for this DLC? What are they trying to accomplish? Oh my god. This is a joke. This is a joke. First, I can't stun this guy when he's going between summoning points for some stupid reason. Now he's gonna take 3 knife executions. Are they really trying to make this more awkward and tedious than it needs to be? Why do they revel in that now? Why do they revel in stupidity like that? Jesus Christ. They're really viewing their fans and their product as a joke. With these kind of silly, artificial, contrived mechanics that don't feel like mechanics, they feel like bugs. But in New Capcom's eyes, they're intentional. Alright, so I can't do anything until he gets to his next summoning area. Because that's somehow good design. That somehow makes sense. That's somehow believable. That's somehow practical for good design. I've never seen anything so retarded. Of course, that's not entirely true, because there's plenty of other things this DLC has done to be retarded. I've never done anything so retarded in any game content ever. I can't believe I said game. This is a pre-alpha. I mean, what is this? A red zealot with the most absurd capabilities ever, even though he's no different to a normal Ganado. He can resist high-powered weaponry, not get stunned. He has a stupid summoning move that does not belong in a Plaga Resident Evil game. Or pre-alpha in this case. He does not get stunned when he's going between summoning areas, because that programming is so rigid and so forceful. He has tons of enemies supporting him. He has an absurd amount of life, able to take at least 3 knife executions, which is so unusual for an enemy type based around the normal Ganado. What am I playing, Tag right now? I cannot believe this passes as content. This passes as serviceable. This passes as something that QA is willing to accept. In what way does this fit the developer's vision? Is this what they really wanted to view Resident Evil 4 Remilk as? A piece of content just completely lacking and not even like going through basic developmental processes. I need to use that flash grenade on this guy. And that's going to do no damage, because I believe flash grenades do less damage when you're using the knife afterwards. And that seems to be the case. Oh my god. You can just... It looks like buggy gameplay, guys. It looks like buggy gameplay. You cannot tell me that this is intentional. You cannot tell me it's me that's the problem. How can you say that it's me that's the issue, when I have nothing to do with the development of this pre-alpha? The lengths these retards go to defend new Capcom's bizarre alien practices that I've never seen a video game developer do before. This is so insulting. This is so unfinished. This is so unpolished. This is so buggy, but apparently it's intentional in new Capcom's eyes. This is so awkward. This is so tedious. This is pants on the head stupid in its execution. It's like they designed this DLC for the mindless player who's just going to slot into the merchant and spam a bunch of explosives and flash grenades and all sorts of damage upgrades. Unbelievable. And yet none of that has anything to do with bizarre designs, like having this red zealot not flinch in between summoning points for some stupid reason, or being resilient to explosives and flash grenades after he gets knocked out by one, and you do the knife execution. That is so buggy, guys. This is so retarded. This is so dumb. I don't know what to say. There's no word in the English dictionary that can properly sum up what the hell this is, and the bizarre decisions that went into this stupid pre-alpha, this pre-alpha of a DLC, and this stupid section. I finally did. Look at that. 2 knife executions, a couple of grenades, and 3 explosive bolts? For this guy who's no different to a regular Ganado. And has some of the buggiest designs ever, with him not flinching between summoning points. What is this? I've never seen anything so bizarre in any other game ever. What is this? What were they trying to go for with this? Somebody answer me that question. Why are they trying to make the gameplay experience so awkward? And so weird, and so bizarre, and so cartoonish? What am I playing, guys? Just what am I playing? I don't understand! You're serious? The enemies can move during that cutscene? When have the enemies ever been able to move during these cutscenes? Why now are they able to move? That's stupid. So you gotta immediately skip that cutscene as soon as possible because the enemies are moving. Watch this bull crap right here. I use the bowgun to lure the Garrador away, and while they're busy being distracted by the noise of the explosion, a Zealot with a torch comes my way, and so I deflect her while the Garrador are busy being distracted by the noise. The unarmored Garrador comes and collides with the Zealot with the torch and somehow doesn't attack her. He instead omnisciently knows where I am and starts attacking me. The AI on the Garrador is just completely broken, and it really comes across as buggy and unpolished in so many parts with their AI. And speaking of buggy designs, how on earth did this armored Garrador know where I was when I fired this explosive bolt? He's supposed to hone in on the noise of the explosion, not on where I fired from. So how did he know? It's so stupid. That's really broken. This pre-alpha will not let me use the lift just because the enemies are close, yet they're blinded by the flash grenade. There's no way they should be able to get on the lift. Let me use it, you stupid pre-alpha. The same thing happens again, but there are fewer enemies. There's just one brood right next to the elevator, and yet it will still not let me use it, just because that brood is close. That is some of the stupidest programming I've ever seen. How the hell did QA not find this kind of issue? Why do they allow this just to force you to kill the enemies and waste your ammo when we're in a time sequence? Are they really that dense? Great hitbox. I mean, literally, I thought that guy was going to attack. Like, he was the closest one, and then that guy decided to do his long-range attack, and, of course, the parry is not omnidirectional, so I couldn't exactly adjust myself properly to actually set myself up for the parry, and so I tried to move out of the way, and I ended up getting screwed by bad detection. Yeah, great design, new Capcom. That's such bullshit! Again, I'm expecting the clone to attack me because it's closer, then he does the long-range attack, I parry that, and in the middle of that animation, the clone attacks me, and I don't get iframes during the perfect parry animation. That's so broken. So dumb. Of course she's gonna have different health for some reason. Normally this woman dies from like one kick. Then in another recording, it took 2. Now she's taking 3. I mean, why is it that the adapted difficulty is this jacked? I mean, why does it have so much variability to it? It makes no sense. It shouldn't even be varying like this. It should always be at the highest setting. And do you really need to put critical hits on melee attacks? Is that even a thing in this remilk? I mean, why do the enemies have variable HP? Like Resident Evil 1 remilk? I don't understand. Or they probably do have the same HP, but my damage dealt to them is just different for no reason. It's like in U3's Encounter. Apparently the 3 melee attacks that Ada can do, like when she does the spin kick, when she does the general kick, or she does the hookshot melee, all 3 of those animations have different damage values. Why? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, why do they have to make this so awkward with these really artificial calculations and RNG variables? Like the adaptive difficulty system. It really is a mess. And as Ether mentioned, it's so badly calculated. Okay, that time the damage was different. I don't understand. God, this adaptive difficulty system is just so jacked. I did the same kind of methodology before with shooting his head. When he initiates a hallucinatory phase with the pistol, then he teleports, I use the grenade to knock him towards me, then shoot him in the head, and last time it took almost every piece of ammunition I had in the clip with this TMP, now it just took 7. I just don't get it. Like, why does every single enemy and every single boss have to have some kind of random variable to how their HP works? Yeah, see, that time for some weird reason he didn't get stunned when he started the hallucinatory phase. Like, he got stunned in the first part, and then I wasn't able to stun him in the second part. I mean, why is it that the stun HP is so random with these guys? Again, like, there's no reason for it to apply to the bosses. It should be consistent. And then their HP as well, I mean, why is it so random? Like, what exactly is governing the stun HP on these bosses and enemies? And all you're doing is just making this scenario so awkward every single time you replay it. For every single boss, every single enemy. I mean, I've never seen a developer treat stuns like this. In such an egregious, oscillating fashion every time. Are you serious? How the hell did... Oh my god. By throwing the flash grenade directly at the Iron Maiden, that stunned it alongside the actual explosion. It's so stupid how contact with a grenade like that can stun the enemy, yet not actual shots from, you know, your rifles or your pistols for some stupid reason. God, new Capcom has no sense anymore with their stuns, and people want to say, oh, it's realistic. Nothing realistic about that, and oh, it doesn't look weird at all with the way the enemies don't flinch from your shots, yet they flinch from that. That's so Just, oh god, that's so comedic. How does he grab me at that distance? I mean, I already acknowledged that this grab doesn't do damage to you if you break out of it quickly using the defense knife, which is probably the only grab in this pre-alpha where you don't take instant damage, but that is just so dumb that it has that amount of phantom range on it. Oh my god! Wow! That is such bullshit. I did the QTE, and he somehow caught me at the end. That's a broken QTE right there. And it's also really stupid how these enemies spawn out of the blue, and you can't even use the lift when they're close by, even when they're not on the lift. Such poor designs left and right. Look at that bullshit right there. Yet again, the whole idea of the enemies doing instant damage to you when they grab you doesn't make sense. That guy didn't even get the chance to do the full grab animation. The animation didn't even trigger, and I've already taken instant damage. That's so broken. What? How'd that miss? What the hell? Really? God, Molotovs are so odd when you shoot them. That didn't stun him for some weird reason. Watch this guy fire acid at me at close range. There's no way to avoid it if he does it like this. That's really broken. What? But he didn't even do the summoning move. Why are they spawning in? What? Oh, that's bullshit. Why is he allowed to do his long-range acid attack at close range? And he decided to do it right after the Novicidors spawned in, so I was busy dealing with them. And then he decided to do that. No matter what you do, you just cannot get away from that move. Even if you try to get around him, his tracking is extreme. And then the projectile somehow angles itself in such a way that he can fire it at such a sharp angle, it doesn't make any sense. That move is so badly designed. He might as well just emerge underneath you and just do that attack. You have no way of getting away from it. It's that dumb. And he can stun you in the process as well. Let's have him stun you in the process like he tends to do whenever he emerges from under you. Let's see how balanced this so-called fight is. This soulless slop of a fight. Wow. Just keeps pushing me up and it's causing Ada to drop. That is some of the worst AI designs I have ever seen. What is wrong with Basanta? Why does she just walk into me and push me up against walls, and then it's causing Ada to rise off the ground so that she falls, and so I'm unable to parry, and then right there, she decides to walk away from me for no reason, and then this causes her to do her tail attack. This is some of the worst AI designs I've ever seen, by far, when an AI system is going to be this inactive when attacking, and so they opt to walk into you for some bizarre reason. And this occurs even when you're doing it normally, when you're just like keeping your distance from her. There's all sorts of poor designs with her, and their AI is just all over the place. I genuinely cannot believe there are people that defend U3 in this piece of shit pre-alpha and say it's better than Resident Evil 4 OG. Well, U3's AI was never this stupid. I'm sorry, guys. What the hell are you guys talking about if you think U3 is somehow better in this pre-alpha than in Resident Evil 4 OG. And then this absurd HP that she has. I have a fully upgraded damage statistic on my sniper rifle, and it's still not enough to take her down, even when I'm shooting the head. And I'm having to run the gamut with her crappy AI. This AI system was not properly play-tested. They just rushed this DLC out the door, and they somehow think this is acceptable for the AI to be this way. This completely broken, retarded AI that just walks into you for no reason, that has all these delays on their attacks, and the delays are sporadic in their timing, an absurd amount of HP, all sorts of douchey attacks, all sorts of broken hitboxes, all sorts of ambiguous attacks with their tracking. What a mess.